A good guard dog can be the difference between an unburgled home and a huge insurance claim. It can be the difference between walking comfortably at night and remaining cooped up inside. In short, a guard dog can change your life, but there are hundreds to choose from and they are not all created equal. So in this video, we're going to look at my 3 absolute favourite guard dogs and why. But what is the criteria for a good guard dog? Well, for me personally, it comes down to 3 things. First of all, an excellent guardian needs to be loyal in the extreme. A dog who is committed to its people or its property is going to be far more effective in the role than one who is easily bought or manipulated by a stranger. Next up, it's the intimidation factor. For a guardian to be successful, most of the time it just needs to be big and scary enough to put people off. The proactive rather than reactive approach. So size, colour, bark and reputation come into play. And finally, at number 3, it's reliability. For a guard dog to be successful, they need to be reliable and they need to reliably understand what is and what isn't a threat. You don't want to have a liability case on your hand when they're reacting to things that they shouldn't be or sleeping through things that they should be dealing with. So they need to be reliable consistently. So then for me, at number 3, it's got to be the Mastiff, or the English Mastiff in particular. As the owner of a wonderful example of the breed, I can attest to the absolute loyalty of these dogs. They're close quarters guardians, meaning that they never really leave their post, whether that's their family member or their front door. And despite a reputation for being lazy, they can snap into action, and they're a lot faster than you might think. And when a Mastiff is in action, you're looking at the world's largest dog, hackles up with perhaps one of the most booming barks in the world. And whilst they're typically a little bit slower on the pursuit, that's not really their guarding style. They are defensive protectors. No offence, and for me, that's an advantage. I don't want a dog that can act too fiercely and potentially become a liability. That's just my personal preference. But I'd rather a guardian I can depend on to be by my side and to put herself between her family and any source of threat. So ticking all of the boxes and then some, the Mastiff deserves the bronze medal. Coming in at number 2, it's a global favourite, the German Shepherd. These dogs are the epitome of loyalty, being perhaps the most biddable and dedicated of all the guarding breeds. With a trainability and handler focus that means you can depend on them to do pretty much anything you ask. On top of this, their universal reputation as guard dog of choice means that they have intimidation factor in bucket loads, exceeding what you might expect from a dog of only 90 pounds. Something helped along by their wolf-like appearance and vocal nature. As probably the most intelligent of all the guard dogs, German Shepherds are unbelievably reliable on command, and as dedicated companions, they are never far from their charges. Couple that with their stunning athleticism, that means they are good on the chase as well as when backed into a corner. And you can see why the German Shepherd gets routinely called the most versatile working protector out there. Now, if you're getting a guarding breed, choosing the right breed for your needs is incredibly important, but it doesn't matter what breed you choose if you don't train them properly. You have to give them incredible levels of socialization, wonderful levels of obedience to keep them under control, and make sure that they have impeccable manners just so that they're nice to live with. And as a canine behaviorist, I can guarantee it is way easier to teach it right in the first place rather than wait for a guard dog breed to go wrong and then have to fix the problems later on. So with that said, that is exactly why I created my completely free Principles of Perfect Puppy training. There are no strings attached, and it will allow you to understand exactly what you need to do to train your new guard dog perfectly from day one, so you don't have the headache and heartache of it going wrong and trying to fix it later. So again, there'll be a link in the description. You can go check that out right now. But let's move on to my number 1 pick. And it will probably come as no surprise that I've got the CORSO in my number 1 position. To put it briefly, they are the ultimate guardian breed. I've worked with more of these dogs than I can count, and I still find they take my breath away when I see one in action. As far as intimidation factor goes, they are out of this world, looking like a panther and sporting the kind of bark that curdles your blood. There aren't many dogs who can compete in that area, but it's not just about first impressions. Their perfect balance between size and performance, usually a little over 100 pounds, means that they can do the job. Any job, really to perfection. With surprising working intelligence for a Mastiff breed, and the classic Mastiff devotion to its owner and family, you have perhaps the best and certainly my favourite guardian breed of all time. There's a reason why they've jumped more than 30 places in the American Kennel Club popularity rankings in the last decade or so, breaking into the top 20 last year. They are absolutely amazing dogs.